Including on Facebook.
Nice. Very good.
Make it so. Or knit if you must.
What about crochet?
Oh.
Not an option.
Oh, therefore.
So, fix that a little bit. There we go. Down up a little bit. Cool. It's way out on John for some reason. Configured it, but it's all reset for some reason, but now it's better.
Nice.
Alrighty. So, welcome, episode 77, D&D on a WIM Apocalypse.
77.
Make sure everything's good, we'll have audio, all the normal stuff we look for. Hey, there we are. So we've got audio. So the actual video. We have audio. We have live chat up on Rumble. So feel free to join us on Rumble for the live chat. Pin comment in the Facebook, or you can look at any of our Linktree stuff to find us there.
Damn, Jesse.
You okay? You want to talk about it?
I'm just trying to play footsie.
That's what I was going to say.
And you're fucking busy.
Jesus.
You shadow all closer and put your feet instead.
Alright, so I'm just a second choice. I get it. Hey, but you're still a choice.
Somebody somewhere, right?
Second choice,
God damn
first
it.
recipient. You know, it's working out. All right. Last week, for whatever reason, we cut out abruptly. We just lost a very small bit of the end.
Yeah, I'll keep an ear on this because like the fan kicked up, and then I just thought it calmed down, but I think that's when it shut down.
Yeah.
I'll let you know.
Or maybe you turned it off.
Just that kind of an
Jesse just
asshole.
reached
Right.
around the curtain and just
Yeah,
fucked the
just like-
stream.
I'm done with this.
Who knows? Who knows what happened? It was so weird. I don't know. No logs, no automatic update, no nothing. It just ran a reset. But all that happened after the reset was you guys met the curator. You spoke briefly about the fact that the location you are in exists outside of time and space. So you guys are kind of just here doing your thing. You sent a message. The curator explained to you that the message has been received, but that time isn't moving forward, so it's there waiting for you to re-enter time and know how to.
Yeah.
No, it's not me. You're good. You also briefly looked into ways to weaken the Four Horsemen, or tried to research weaknesses for them. In that you discovered certain information. You want to reread that information just so we have
Sure, yeah.
involved in it?
So, we found out that with war, the weakness or chance to handle it is chaos disruption. So, war thrives on chaos and conflict, and one way to weaken war could be to restore peace and order to the land, making it difficult for him to incite violence. or divine intervention. Can seek the aid of a powerful deity associated with peace, diplomacy, or protection, as they might have the power to weaken war's influence. For famine, you could try to promote like abundance and prosperity. So counter famine's influence by ensuring that the lands are fertile and prosperous. This could involve restoring crops, ending droughts, or dispelling blights. Or you could feed the hungry. Famine's power might wane if you distribute food and resources to those in need, counteracting the hunger and scarcity it represents. For death, two different theories. One is eternal rest. Death is often associated with the afterlife and the transition of souls. Seek the aid of spirits, necromancers, or divine entities related to the cycle of life and death to weaken death's hold on the world. Or resurrection. If death has dominion over the deceased, resurrecting fallen allies and preventing souls from passing into the afterlife could disrupt death's power. And with pestilence, if pestilence is separate from war, you could work on healing and restoration. Pestilence's strength lies in disease and decay, so strengthen the world's defenses against illness, promote healthcare, and develop cures to counteract pestilence's influence. And nature's balance, restore the natural order and balance in the world, as pestilence often represents the disruption of ecological harmony. This could involve healing blighted lands, purifying polluted waters. So that's what we have versus pestilence, death, famine, and war.
All fairly intuitive.
Yeah.
But it opened up a new a new way of thinking for you guys.
Right.
Initially, you guys are looking for oh, what's their weakness? Like, what's
I
the
hit
chink
them
in their
with
armor?
something.
Like, what
Yeah.
are they what are they weak to? We didn't think about the idea of they are effectively function kind of like a god, in which the domain in which they oversee its influence on the world also strengthens them.
Mm-hmm.
So the less war there is, the less powerful war is. The less death there is, the less powerful death is. So on and so forth. But opened up to a new theory for you guys to think about. That being said, you guys are in a grand, all-encompassing library. Again, there you walked in through double doors. There is a small table in front of you. The curator, ASMR stands at. They brought out 4 different kind of desk tables for you guys. You're seeing what look kind of shimmering, almost humanoid creatures that brought out the desks. You're seeing a couple mage hands floating about each table, ready to access whatever knowledge it is that you guys are searching for. You know that these books are all magical in nature. They contain large amounts of information. Some of them are easier to ascertain the information within. Some of them are more difficult, depending on the level of information that you're trying to receive.
I don't have a high reading level, so I feel like I'm gonna be reading a lot of children's books,
Right.
stories and tales and legends.
With that in mind,
Maybe not even a lot.
what are some of the things that you guys want to start looking for?
Well,
So
I'll
these-
go.
These mage hands respond as we speak to them. Are we just speaking and then they go do this, or we have to address the curator, or how does this work?
It seems as if these mage hands and stuff like that are going to work along with you to find information.
So we have to find it.
You have to find it, and you have control over them to an extent. So you have to properly direct them. and they will assist in you finding it. Effectively, they go get the books, but you get to roll the investigation to find what you're looking for.
Gotcha. Does that mean we can assist each other?
To an extent, but you all have kind of your own research area set up.
Oh yeah, we're all
If you want
researching at the
to,
same time.
yeah. If you guys want to join up and research for same things, yes, but it's more so they're trying to take direction from each of you individually, work with each of you individually to provide for you what you are looking for.
It's a quiz. I'll ask the mage hands. 2. What do we do?
There's a couple of them. They're semi-translucent. At times it looks like there's like maybe 1 or 2. At times you're like, oh, there's like 4 or 5 of them. There's quite a few. Then you'll see that sometimes there's ones off and like around that are moving things about and cleaning things up.
Quiz will ask his. Is there here in the library, if there is, could you bring it to me, a tome of increasing one's strength?
You're looking for, give me a history check, because you've encountered one of these before.
20?
Yeah. You would know what you were looking for is, it should be gainful exercise, right? Yeah, you're looking for a manual of gainful exercise. Give me a investigation.
20.
20? These are like the lowest you can get.
Pretty much, yeah.
Which is enough. The books or the hands will go off and they'll come back and they'll bring you a tome. Okay. It will take a while to read this book. You cannot remove this book from here.
Good news is, time doesn't matter.
Right.
You start to read through this book, which talks of different exercises, different ways to hold your weight, set yourself up for different combat situations that will help you with enhancing your strength in general.
I had a similar idea, but I was going to save those for last. I would like to try to research if there are any cures to the plagues associated with the 4 horsemen. Cures for the plagues. If there is a way to cure any of the plagues.
Give me an investigation.
Is it my investigation or is it the hands investigation?
It's your investigation. The hands are effectively working off of your. These mage hands are like your mage hands, and they're looking for different things. You almost get ideas, like glimpses of things as they're going through, as if you're kind of seeing through them disembodied for just moments. Nothing you can quite read, but it just kind of. It goes with what you're looking through, and then she can wait, go back to that. Yeah, bring me that book, and things like that.
Cool. Well. Huh. That's a natty 20 right there.
Right?
Wow. So that brings me to a 32.
32. Yes. You will find a book discussing lots of different cures for lots of diseases and such, which then goes into the ideas of the growth of diseases and plagues becoming more powerful things. Literally, plagues that are capable of like infecting even the gods and divine beings. A lot of what you're seeing is cleansing is the best way to go about it for most of them. Full out purification in which you completely destroy the body, incinerate every aspect of it, and reincarnate to create a new person. They talk about the potential of working with clones, and a couple people have managed to supersede and get past them at that. As far as just outright curing them, there's very little information that's available.
Zombies.
It's a lot of things that people are researching currently, but nothing that has been brought back to this at this point. A lot of these books you're looking at are very new. A lot of the information you're finding is very new to this.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
What are you looking for, Chris?
I would specifically be more looking into some more stuff about death and just how the actual disease is affecting people and just the general tackling it of it in society since it affects me personally.
Okay.
Since I'm the only one that's got the death.
No.
Quiz has
Not.
it too.
Oh, Quiz had the death. I'm sorry, Quiz.
God.
So dumb. Just forget things.
Having the death like having the Rona.
Right.
Probably not as bad.
Joyce is just getting over her latest bout of Rona.
Really?
Zoner, I've been seeing so many snaps from home.
Mm-hmm.
Give me an investigation.
Three.
I rolled my dex check.
3.
So I got a good old +1 and a 2 on the
Drop
D20.
Drop
The
the
deuce.
deuce. Ouch.
Nice.
You're not going to find a whole lot more than
We already found
The
out.
book that I found.
you will find a scroll that contains the information I just sent you.
He opens it up and it just says "Death sucks."
It's so bad. It's like, I know that already.
Maybe I'm smarter than I thought I was. Because I didn't do that.
In your studies, as far as death goes as a plague, they have not figured out a way to overcome it.
Because straight up when they die, it's
They believe that that's the issue with what happened with Ioun, was that she was infected with death. Given that death had a scythe and he kind of got at least a 1 or 2 good shots in on her, and that caused that to infect her. So upon the moment that she died, she was pulled as well.
what she became.
You know,
Well, by that logic, that means she just got snatched up into Death's cadre of army of deadness.
Yeah. A
Yeah,
god.
of something of equal or lesser value.
Oh boy.
yeah.
Don't worry, that's on my list as well.
But that's what you find. I don't know if you want to share with the group or read aloud or anything, but you don't have to.
Yeah, Narnia.
You are looking for.
Chill out, Norrin. What you need? We did kind of look up the other stuff, right? That you like for like Melora and like locations for.
We haven't looked them up here.
You haven't looked them up here directly, no.
Try and do that.
You were told that there are books that detail the sparks in great detail, but each of these books is beyond trials.
Oh, that's right.
You have to actually go and you'll have to fight a
We have-
guardian or something like that
Yeah.
to access certain things. Just like you currently have access to this library. When you leave and attempt to come back into this library,
It would take a lot of effort.
you
to
will
get in.
there will be a mental trial just to enter the library. Seems as if you guys got to go past it, probably because you used wish to get in here. More so,
Somebody.
a lingering essence of somebody used a wish to send you in here. But it's going to take a trial to get back in here, so probably should get everything you want before you leave.
Yeah.
There's also a trial that will allow you to get the book that will allow you to summon this library, and this library is effectively the spark of Melora, though you are not,
Ioun.
or of Ioun, yeah, though you've not undergone the trial to actually wield it. Right now, you're just kind of here.
Yeah. So what you want to research there, Norrin? We got somebody who's going to be reading a book for a while.
Time is the element that keeps everything from happening at once. Without it,
Might as well just keep it going.
it could take him 2 minutes to read this and get ready.
It's still going to take you a while to read it.
Right. But nothing
It'll take
outside
you
of this.
48 hours, but there's,
Yeah.
as far as everything outside cares,
Yeah.
as far as these guys here with you, but the thing is they can step outside and you literally walk out right after them. You're like, oh yeah, I ended up staying there for 3 years reading books.
Yeah.
And you'll walk out right behind them because the second they leave, they re-enter the time stream. The second you leave, you re-enter the time stream. So you all re-enter at the same time. So you can effectively spend as much time here as you want.
Is there any? Would we be allowed to?
You're not.
I'm done. Like, is that what he's doing? Is just reading like one of those tomes?
He is reading a manual gainful exercise.
Like to read something similar.
Do you want to start that, or do you want to? You were talking about the Melora stuff. Which one do you want to do first?
Probably the more stuff because that's probably go a little quicker, I imagine.
Okay. Give me an investigation. Firstly, you'll find this. I can find you. Oh, don't not be in here, you motherfucker. want to send. And you're not going to write more. It's not sending. I just don't want to send anything to you. Because you're not on an iPhone. It's okay.
Yeah, I don't use that commie shit.
It's a weird way to say you're poor. No, I'm just kidding.
That's fine.
My fucking middle schoolers say that shit to each other all day long. Like, God damn it, guys.
That's pretty funny though.
Hey, there we go. So I can send it to this device and then send it to you. So what you find is firstly, you find this. An excerpt. Not delivered. Try again. Not delivered. Apparently, just what is not going to deliver to you at all. Message send failure. Try again. Second with that time, maybe?
Now you're gonna get a million messages all at once.
There we go.
That's the first thing you find when searching up what you already know of Melora, which is that there's in theory, like a really crazy tropical storm hurricane that found that. And with a 22, that sparks you to look up and find this. Which I then have to actually no, because I'm not giving my burner account. Send to my phone and then send to you. Also, someone's trying to pick up my ship tomorrow. It really sucks because I really need to work tomorrow, but I also really have to. This one's the airport. Cool. And then that is what you find. You receive that? You're more than willing to read anything aloud if you want. But that is what you find upon attempting to research storms and Melora and where this artifact may be found. Fuck, I didn't fix it though. 1252, not 1452. 1252 is the only thing wrong. I was supposed to fix that before I sent it to you.
Oh.
I didn't. But that is what you're finding.
It's pretty long, so I'm not going to read it out loud.
No,
Fair enough.
it's fine.
You know,
Some of the things that are in there, you know, with the different things you guys are finding, you might find more information. You might be able to throw ideas off of each other as well. Just as a thought. But that's what you guys find at the moment. You're reading, I'm guessing. Is there anything else you want to look up at the moment, or just kind of keep reading on that and then go to something else after?
You look up information on Ioun.
I'll let you read a little bit on that book, and then we'll throw that in. I have a couple things for that, but we'll jump to that. As far as the Spark of Ioun, you're going to have to
Take the trial.
go through the trial to get the book that's going to talk more about it. Other than that, this. Give me an investigation. Let's see what you're gonna put. Oh.
There you go.
Hell yeah. 29?
29. Find it all. Are you in here? You're in here, right? Yeah, you are. I'm send it directly to you. That is what you find out about Ioun. And you know that the artifact and more information on the trial will be guarded within a book about her spark, which is protected. but there is some information on the location of her vault and little bits of that, and you can glimpse from that book. You can kind of go through that and look over a bit, and then return to reading your manual and gainful exercise. Alex, without doing, what next do you wish to look up?
Okay, I'll just keep going on down the list to try and do more of a knowledge and history on Mishaka, but I want to know more about like her ascendants too.
Her what?
Ascendants.
So she is a lesser deity, so she doesn't have a full ascendant. She's not like one of the prime gods.
Right. Even if it maybe knows like her location or maybe what plane of existence, things like that.
So you'll know that she does tend to favor one realm of existence, as opposed to all of the realms, as some of the more prime deities are. She's tied to a realm in which ancestry, draconic might, and such tend to have a influence on the lives of mortals, more so. Of course, she's the goddess of healing, restoration, both in the body of spirits and mortals. She is working to take over and try to either restore Ioun, or perhaps sort of take over the place of Ioun. So she's working on ascending now more than having had ascended. You know that it is said that her abilities seem to have been enhanced since since the death of Ioun. So some believe that Ioun may have been potentially put upon her some of the power that she had. But other than that, it's, just kind of the basics, healing. Her main thing that she goes over is healing the home, compassion, knowledge, fertility, life, beauty, blessings, love, birth. Usually seen as like a beautiful, either a beautiful woman or like a grandmother or mother in a faded blue smock. Always has kind of like blue eyes, but generally always appears as this kind of like sky blue adorned female of multiple ages. Chris, Golrek, what would you like to next attempt to research?
I want to know a little bit more about Cord. And isn't Cord another one that's he's up in the sky, but isn't that like another storm-related kind of thing?
Yes, but in a kind of different way.
In a different way.
Yes.
But I wanna find out more about Cord and his storm.
Yeah. Give me my investigation.
19.
That's better.
Definitely a lot better roll.
You will find a scroll.
You and your scrolls.
I'm gonna have my own personal library by the time we're done.
You find a scroll that is called Prophecy of the Stormforged Blade.
Crazy.
But there's also a book that kind of goes over and references that scroll. There might have been a book for the other one too, but who knows? You didn't roll high enough.
Nope. I did not. I, in fact, did not roll high enough at all.
That is what the book that goes along with it says.
Okay.
And Norin, anything specific you want to go over, or anything you want to share that you've gleaned from what you spoke to? It's kind of one major big thing. I don't know if you've caught on yet or not. About the hurricane itself.
That was like beyond massive. It just like wiped everything out.
What else is it?
Oh, it is a god.
Well, not quite. Kind of, but yeah. But also, there's a type of creature that it is. Elemental.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, an elemental hurricane. And so it's not just
Hurricane
it's not-
itself is an
but
elemental.
The hurricane itself
Great.
is an elemental. Yes. So that's a fun little thing that you guys might have to deal with.
Sure.
It's hurricane elemental. It's fine.
Okay, fine.
You just have to sail the ship into a hurricane elemental.
No big deal.
But what else would you like to look into?
I would be interested in a tome of, it was conflicted. You know, that the 3 scores that out of what I'd want to improve, I don't think one of them will make a difference. The other 2.
I feel like any of them would make a difference in theory, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, way.
Yeah. Maybe a tome of something to boost constitution.
Give me a, because you haven't read any tomes yet, have you? Oh, no, you did the
Yeah.
leadership and influence.
Yeah.
Give me a investigation.
Natty 20 for 33. Or 31, sorry.
Natty 20, yeah, you're going to find a manual of bodily health. Which you can attempt to start reading.
So bodily and so healthily.
It refreshed. It's already on there. Just you can't until you read it. You won't be able to go over any of that. And John, what are you thinking?
Reading this gainful tome.
Okay. Adu?
Adun would like to research if there's any knowledge of the specific dragon that is guarding the Sparkforged artifact of Pelor. I know that might then be related to the Sparkforged artifact, but he wants to try and see if there's any.
Of Pelor?
Yeah. The dragon that's guarding that particular star, if possible.
Yes, give me a second. Give me an investigation.
Investigation is. It's a dirty 20.
Through your investigations, you will find that there is a type of dragon that is tend to protect and also live and be born in the heart of a star. It's referred to as a solar dragon. More information about that specific dragon would probably be tied to the book of the Sparkforged item.
Figured.
But you would know that they're typically neutral, gargantuan dragons. One protecting something like this, yeah, you're looking at a pretty large dragon. No real weaknesses. Immune to radiant, probably immune to fire, if not resistant to it. It is known that it is impossible to read their minds. Any attempts to read a solar dragon's mind or glean its thoughts fail automatically. You know that being a creature of the astral sea, they don't require air. Their breath weapon is different than most, as basically they exhale a mote of radiant energy that travels and then explodes.
Oh, that's gross.
Oh,
That's fucked up.
Mass amounts of radiant damage
they
type
breathe
stuff.
out radiant.
Bomb balls.
Simply being near them, they can blind creatures around them. They're known to drag creatures around them into the sun.
Cool. I don't think we've dealt with quite that level of fire before.
Or radiance.
I mean, lava's one thing, but
It's neutral.
a sun is another thing.
Yeah.
It's neutral. The thing would not try to be like killing a neutral dragon doing its job, but try to convince it to let us.
A solar dragon's lair has brilliant light. Any creature within 10 miles of the star or inside it is generally blinded by the intense light, unless they have something to protect them. And then stellar incineration. Any creature that enters a star tends to just be incinerated by radiant damage.
Yeah, I can see that. Makes sense.
It's not fire either.
Right.
It's radiant.
Yeah.
So.
It's radiant plasma fire from a sun.
Good to know.
That is what you can glean. That is important. Okay. But that's where you find out about that. Also, give me a perception.
Ioun?
Mm-hmm.
It's a 34.
You also see a book about the protector of the Sparkforge artifact of Bahamut, because I may have misread your text.
Oh.
But you will find that as well. I
Awesome.
don't know why I swear you said, and I'm looking at it, it definitely says Pelor right there. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I don't know why I wrote something out for Bahamut.
I would have gotten there eventually.
But
It's
I like how you
Water
wrote it
lily
out and then you
also-
looked back and you're like, did I fuck this up? And you're like, yeah, I fucked it up.
yeah, I absolutely fucked it up. So all that right there is also something you find out about the creature protecting the
fuck
Sparkforge
balls.
artifact of Pelor. Or Bahamut. Sorry, Bahamut. Is Bahamut on here at all? You didn't say anything specific about Bahamut.
I did not.
I literally, my notes, I was just like, Bahamut.
You just really want us to know about the Hunt, I guess.
I don't know why. I think it was just because I was just assuming with the other stuff. But you will come across that. Gorak. Was there anything specifically else you want to go, or anything you want to mention that you've gleaned from any of your readings?
The only thing I want to know more about is just any specifics about the fall that might be useful to us in any kind of way.
About the, what do you mean the fall?
The fall of the gods.
Oh. Give me an investigation. That's one of the next ones you're looking up too, right, Alex?
What?
Information about the fall of the gods.
Yes.
On your list.
Cool.
So if you guys,
Yeah, like a history in the fall.
if
of
you
the
guys
gods.
want to both roll, I can show you what you guys can roast.
Nice.
It's a 21.
Then I got a 19.
Not too bad. Since you have to roll a 19, right?
18. I got a plus one. Big bad plus one.
Nice.
So you got
19.
21. I almost said dirty 21, but I feel like that's kind of implied.
Yeah.
I got a natural 21. Make it 20.
What are you fucking with over there, man?
I'm going to need to inspect your dice.
Yeah, that's fair. Can't argue that one.
So you guys will find this one of you wants to read it, you can. You don't have to. It's kind of a lot, but we also have some time. It's something that everybody might be interested in. Did you both get it?
Yeah. Golrak, I have a feeling you read at a faster pace than I do.
I.
Yeah, duh.
If you need assistance with certain words, just feel free to lean over.
No, I definitely can feel like I can make a clumsy effort. Found a little bit from a book called Annihilation of Divinity, The Dawn of War God's Final Stand. In the darkest hours of the world, when the very heavens trembled and the earth quaked, a cataclysmic conflict unfolded. A battle would forever change the course of the mortal and the divine history. The celestial armies of the dawn war gods clashed with the four malevolent horsemen of the apocalypse, heralding an era of unparalleled devastation. As the sun dipped below the horizon, a crimson moon hung low in the sky, casting an eerie glow over the blood-soaked battlefield. The gods, resplendent in their divine armor, descended from the heavens, their celestial banners unfurling in defiance of the encroaching darkness. The horsemen, shadows clad in tattered shrouds, rode forth on monstrous steeds, wreathed in eternal flames. The clash of titanic forces sent shockwaves rippling through the very fabric of reality. Arcane energies and divine fury erupted, turning the skies into a maelstrom of chaos. Thunder rumbled and lightning lashed out as the gods and the horsemen locked in an unrelenting struggle. At the heart of the conflict stood Ioun, the goddess of knowledge and prophecy, a beacon of hope amidst chaos. She wielded the sacred staff of foresight, channeling the collective wisdom of the divine to counter the relentless advance of the horsemen. Her radiant presence illuminated the battlefield, a symbol of unwavering resolve. But as the battle raged on, the malevolent horsemen proved to be an unstoppable force. Pestilence unleashed plagues that withered the gods' strength. Famine devoured their divine essence. War reveled in the violence and discord sown among the pantheon, and death's scythe cut through the very threads of existence. In a moment of blinding darkness, Ioun's shining star of knowledge met her tragic end. Her staff of foresight shattered, her divine essence was snuffed out, leaving a void in the heavens that echoed with the lamentations of all creation. Witnessing the fall of Ioun, the remaining gods realized the futility of their struggle and one by one withdrew from mortal realms, retreating into their divine domains, leaving the world to the domain of the four horsemen. The skies wept tears of sorrow and the lands lay desolate, bearing scars of the conflict that reshaped the very cosmos. And thus, the age of the gods came to an end, ushering an era of darkness and despair. The gods, once so powerful and benevolent, now have been defeated, and their absence would be felt by mortals for ages to come. This excerpt paints a grim and epic picture of the catastrophic battle between the Dawn War gods and the Four Horsemen, illustrating the fall of Ioun and the gods' retreat from the mortal realms, leaving the world plunged into chaos and uncertainty.
Well done, Golrak.
Just point out the fact that pestilence unleashed plagues that withered the gods' strength. But yeah, a paladin should be immune to that.
Yes.
Why not?
But that's what you find kind of about what was going on with the fall of the gods.
The way I read that is all the gods are a bunch of bitches, and Ioun is the only one that tried. And then they were like, all right, we're out. Tap.
Yep.
Give me an insight, Ioun.
Is it against something that's lying to me?
No.
That's also a 21.
You're relating to your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10th. Your 10th thing that you want to research. You have always noticed, but didn't really take heed or didn't really like realize it, but the armor and shield you have, there seems to be a sentience to them that you know, but in the armor and in the shield, at points when kind of like the armor kind of moves and stuff, you notice that it seems to be infused with lots of like splintered wood, little bits throughout, as if perhaps what gave them power was something that had splintered, and some of that essence may have affected somebody. Even when Golrak was reading aloud, you almost like get this vision in your head as if you're watching somebody else who's kind of standing there, and you see a staff kind of come up. And when the staff comes up, you see this just fucking creature of a humanoid, just black plate armor that seems to be almost living, where it's just like there's no cracks in between it, two glowing piercing eyes, and then just these fucking swords just going to town and just catching the sword or catching the staff, and just as it cuts through the staff explodes, and you see this humanoid, maybe angelic type, who literally just gets pelted and just like pretty much destroyed by all these shards of this exploding staff that just pelt into him, and just kind of drops to one knee, and you can see this creature who just severed the thing, kind of without looking, just moves his arm off and just decapitates that creature, who then falls. But you see this angelic blood and all this splintering just kind of absorbing into this armor and into the shield that tried to protect him. And aside from the fact that yours is more like shitness and seems to have like some sort of living nature to it, the design of the shield and armor are the same. Give me an insight again.
Ooh, that's a 31. Right into the spectrum.
The shape and feel of this person kind of matches what you look like to an extent. I mean, no wings and
dead.
Well, living,
but not dead.
Much more living than actually you are.
Right.
But that's something that you will kind of glean. And it's weird because none of the other things you're reading kind of give you visuals, but you almost like are granted visuals as he's reading.
Does anybody want it?
I'll take a Pepsi while you're up if you want.
I'm good for a moment.
Maybe whatever there's the most of, Chris, I'll take one, please.
It's Pepsi or Wild Cherry Pepsi. Cool. Both the same finish.
That was a really good reading, Golrak. For as long as I have wandered, I have no grand or, I guess, noticeable memories or notable memories. But reading these books, I feel I glean more about myself. The more we learn about these battles and what transpired.
Definitely has offered a good amount of perspective on the world as it is as it is changed. As the world is such a dynamic place.
It is interesting that you mentioned that, considering I've been so adrift in void for as long as I can remember. I have ideas of what the world should be. I don't necessarily remember a time when it was that way.
So you have no memories before the void?
I awoke with this sense, this purpose to do good. In the conflicts that I have encountered within void space, I always assumed it was to glean as much knowledge and eradicate the aberrants in and around the area in which you found me.
It's like nobody wants those things around, so yeah.
I have not encountered very many things that bore intellect that were willing to share with me their knowledge willingly.
But what little I got is all yours. Like, I'm not holding on to anything over here.
So you guys both want to go over that. You're reading, I'm trying to get better gut strength. Health. Working on that microbiome. It's where he does where all that con is. It's all in that microbiome.
His gut garden, yeah.
No, apparently I should
eat a fucking vegetable yogurt every now and then.
Yeah. And you can't just live off of raw fish.
You need some yogurt, some cheese or
A little bit of rice, a little bit of yogurt, a little bit of cheese.
Pretty sure dolphins pretty much just live off raw fish.
I don't know what's a con of a dolphin.
Look it up.
I'm about to.
I'm gonna guess it's maybe like an 11.
I'm thinking it's an 11, but I was gonna say just flat 10. But let's look at it.
I was about to say, it's like,
I feel like that's a decent constitution
short
for a dolphin.
I almost wanna say that it's gotta be like a 10.
Just a nice
Just
round.
flat out.
Just a nice round.
Just the basic fucking. Well, they have a con 13.
Oh, yeah, see? They get a lot of good exercise with all their
Con
protein
13.
they be eating.
Dolphin Delighter has a con 13 as well. And that's the magical Fey dolphin.
Oh.
So 13. Dolphins are 13 across the board. So not terrible.
Yeah.
Dolphins also have 11 hit points.
A dune barely has
That's hilarious.
more constitution than a dolphin. Good to know.
The dolphin has a higher con than he has hit points.
Read a book.
I'll get there. I'll get there. Since you guys are,
Yeah. For real.
I got a lot of good things that I would like to know about.
That's the one that I think is. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. I don't like it, but they have high animal intelligence. I would have thought they would have been like an 8 or a 9 intelligence. Only a 6.
Oh.
12 wisdom.
Yeah, I would have given them a slightly larger.
Yeah.
maybe even a 7.
Dolphins are super
7 or
smart.
8. A 6, yeah.
What's on here? Octopus has a 3 intelligence? Come on. Come on.
Somebody needs to
Octopus?
somebody needs to reevaluate
Yeah,
these.
that is weird.
I get it. They're giving them animal intelligence, but we know that these creatures are pretty
I
smart.
wonder how much of the stuff they're gonna redo for the D&D 1 stuff.
I don't know. We'll see what they actually do with that. I'm hoping they don't do much with it. I like the idea of it, but
I feel like that'd be so much work to go in and just like redo all the fucking, just like we're gonna redo all the monsters and change shit for no reason.
the thing is they're really just trying to balance 5th edition into one system instead of calling it 5th edition. And I'm like, just add balance change to 5th edition and call it that. You don't have to come
It's
up
like
with a whole new system.
everybody's totally cool with an
It's
update.
fine, yeah.
5.2, 5.5.
Mhm.
Call it 5.9.
I get what they want to do. They just want to create one more game that is constantly adapting so that people don't have to change editions ever again.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're telling us we have to change editions so that we don't have to change editions.
Ever again? Yeah.
And it's like, ugh.
And it's still very much based in a lot of the same stuff they already put out.
Put the hat on a hat at that point.
Yeah.
But yes. So,
Buttons.
buttons.
Never so too many buttons.
Anything? So, who? At this point, you guys can just kind of throw things out. Think there's something specifically you're looking for?
Cool. Then I'll just keep going down my list. Locations or artifacts of maybe deific necromancers. I don't know if I would know Vecna by name, but
Give me a religion. What'd you get?
a natty 1.
So I was gonna have to show up eventually.
For a total of
Offset your 20.
2?
yeah.
Which again would make sense.
Give me a investigation with disadvantage.
Yeah, that checks
You don't
out.
even know what you're looking for.
That checks out. That's 14.
14. You find that the evil god of knowledge was known as Vecna. You're like, oh yeah, we've discussed this.
Yes. Oh yeah, that's right.
That's a guy.
You know that there's a location on one of the maps you have that potentially holds Spark or Vecna themselves. Aside from that, give me an insight.
25.
Literally, as you're going through this, you're noticing that you find an excerpt talking about Vecna. You kind of set the book down, and you're going through, and you go cross-reference it again, and you realize that part of the page is just blank. Knowledge about Vecna seems to be being quickly removed from this library through some sort of magical means.
Interesting. Good to know.
You also do find that Vecna is the god of knowledge, but
Hoarding it.
the idea of Ioun is, I'm the god of knowledge. If I teach everybody everything I know, then I spread knowledge. The more knowledge there is, the more powerful I am. Vecna is like if I learn everything you know, then we both know it. And then if I kill you, then only I know. So it's more of the hoarding of knowledge.
It's the damn brains.
Trading of secrets, trying to gain information for oneself, and it's the god of whispers, the god of secrets, such.
I'm telling you, it's the Futurama brains.
That's right.
You're gonna learn everything and then destroy the world.
Mhm.
because then there's nothing else to know. Then they definitely know everything.
Like to try to glean locations of artifacts that grant wishes.
Give me an investigation, but
That's cool.
I already hit send by accident.
No.
I didn't mean to hit send already.
Don't worry, I can delete it. But it's a dirty 20.
So if that's good enough.
Yes.
13 plus 7.
So you find
Oh,
a book talking about different items in different ways to gain access to them, which is that right there.
Nice. Oh shit. Yeah.
If you have any questions over that, I can further clarify anything that you would possibly get.
I'm gonna just add them to research things, I guess.
Hmm?
I guess I could just research those individual things too, depending.
Yeah. That's
Oh, the last one is a fun one.
the Abyssal Black Market.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, scrolls of wish can be traded there. A couple soul coins, things like that. Or it's been said that you can just forge a coin and then get a wish scroll, and then upon your death, your soul is infused into that coin, thus becoming currency. You got a wish.
Mm-hmm.
It's not fun.
Exciting. Awesome. How about in those Four Horsemen books, or maybe researching a little bit more about their history, learning about maybe where they came from, who their releasers have been, who their captors have been?
Give me an investigation.
It's an 18.
18. They've only been released once. And said that they were part of initial
What?
creation.
Once before, or just like this one?
Just
one time?
this one time.
Just this one time. Okay.
The idea of them started off as sort of a way for the Titans to, like the primordial Titans, to defeat certain gods. They started trying to build up the idea of what could kill gods, as gods were tied to mortality and the weaknesses of mortal men. The weaknesses of mortals, which granted the powers to the gods, was kind of divided into 4 categories and 4 trains of thought, which then was infused into basically birthing Titans to start creating these items. The gods quickly learned of this and stored them away, imprisoned them, knowing that they couldn't outright destroy these things, as they were tied to reality itself. To completely outright destroy one of these things could create an imbalance that made even mortal men more powerful than gods, as it would destroy the idea in itself if the gods were to kill death as opposed to just imprison it. They're not sure, but the theory is that mortals would no longer die.
Right.
And so on and so forth. So they just banished them away in hopes that they wouldn't be released. And then the story is that somehow these imprisoned stones that were scattered to the edge of the cosmos in all different, they were scattered into different planes of existence. Some of them were moved through timeline to different locations, meant to be completely separate and not able to be brought forth. Somehow ended up being brought together. It is said that a creature existing outside of its time brought them together and released them upon the realm.
Okay, alright. Cool. Cool. That's cool. It's
Creature
cool.
existing outside its time.
It's fine. It's cool. It's totally cool.
That's all that was able to be divined before they stopped being able to really research it as much. This is all research that's been done within the past 20 years. I mean, the knowledge of the Four Horsemen exists back beyond that.
Right.
But the release and stuff like that is all within the past 20 years. And you would know that it's been 23 years since they had been released. It took about 5 years for them to come to power.
Just gently put the book back into the mage hand and let it float on back to where it came from. Ask for maybe any research that's been done or any history on important heroes or champions that are still alive that could be worthy to take on the trials of spark-forged artifacts or sparks of divinity.
Give me an investigation.
16.
Okay. You're thinking that there are specific notes about that information. You're finding hints and ideas that point to the fact that there is that information available, but that's going to all be held within the actual Spark books, which are all guarded.
That's all important. Need to know information. Or makes sense. Then, since we're here and we got the time and everybody else is doing some reading, I would like to read or ask for a tome of clear thought.
Give me a investigation.
15.
Yeah, you'll find one and I'll bring it to you. Yeah, you can start reading on that.
Join the chuckles and start reading.
As you guys are reading through those books. Do you want to read through a book at all? You notice they're all kind of doing
Oh, I'd be.
these books. You've seen them before.
It'd be the same. It'd be the same. I'd be trying to, but it's the mixture of things. I would be looking for something to increase my intelligence, but it'd be like me making the effort to just try and look smarter. So everybody else is reading. I was like, I'm gonna read too, you guys. Fuck.
Give me investigation.
On investigation. Ooh, 21.
21.
With a natty 20, fuck yeah, dude.
Looks like the book that you need is called A Tome of Clear Thought, and it's literally sitting on his table.
Dune, can I borrow that when you're done?
There's also what's referred to as a Tome of Understanding, which can kind of get your wisdom up a little bit. It just depends on how you want to get smarter.
I don't think I would immediately understand the difference, so I'd probably just go with the other one. It's like, this looks like it's pretty close to what you're reading, right? This is generally the same thing.
Sure.
But either way, it'd be the same buff that I wanted, because those are my weak points.
Yeah. So we can definitely start to read through. I'm guessing we're going to spend the next little while reading through these books.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys kind of mark them up. You finish reading through them.
Looking over at Gorak, obviously, because these take time, right, in here.
48 hours.
Yeah. Just for brief moments and breaks, things of that nature. Ioun will go to Gorak and just say, "Do you happen to feel any need for food or drink in this place?"
Not in particular. It seemed very similar to going through the void.
He doesn't seem to get hungry or thirsty or anything. Interesting.
When you ask that, a small plate of food will be brought out to you with meats and cheeses and vegetables and stuff like that, fruits. If you want to eat, you are more than welcome to.
Would probably somehow be with us some sort of natural nutrients, of some sort. Despite being in a place where we are unaffected by time outside.
That definitely seems to be having the grander effect of it all too. It's like, if I'm not hungry, or the void just being very similar to that void feeling of just not needing to consume, but more along the lines of just like, no, time is really passing, which is kind of weird.
But you guys finished reading off through your books. What would you like to, is there anything else you'd like to look into or go through, or anything you'd like to try to clarify or anything?
Curator, with these tomes, would we need to remain here inside for the next 100 years? Time, if you can call it that, within, for these to recharge.
Things don't quite work the same way in here as they work outside. Things don't work in here quite the same way as they work outside.
Ioun passes the Tome of Clear Thought to you.
appears to be legible, readable, has a magic energy to it.
I figured that just. Well,
Might as well pass them all around, huh?
either that or I mean, we'll say is like, how much more time are we wanting to spend here? Because if I start this, that's another 48 hours.
And nothing is happening outside of here.
I mean, that's cool.
We walked in, we walked out. It's
Give me a split
Whatever.
second.
It might behoove us to take the time now to prepare ourselves as best we can.
I said, we have to be ready for these challenges. That's the best way I can think of, be ready for these challenges.
It can certainly help.
Who's
Yes,
going
sir.
to ask about the charisma one?
I have
Leadership.
that
Leadership
one.
and influence.
You have that one?
You have
Yours,
gainful.
yours
Oh,
doesn't
that
have
one.
that magical
Oh,
energy
that's
to
right,
it.
yeah.
But give me an investigation.
Yours
20?
doesn't have a magical energy to
No, because I've had it for.
20?
it. And you
Okay.
just never read it.
No, I did. It's in my stuff. It's
But
out.
it used up
Oh.
magical energy.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like Quiz has the one about the dexterity.
Right.
Magical energy.
Yeah.
But it's if you read the ones in here, they don't lose that magical energy.
That's what it was seeming like, yeah.
Yeah.
These aren't quite the same, but yes. You can find a Tome of Leadership and Influence and start reading it if you want.
I would imagine that you cannot glean more information from the same book.
I figured
You
that.
start reading it and you're like, yeah, I've read this
I
before.
already know this.
Mhm.
So my question is, are there any other variations on the Tome of Clear Thought?
And give me an investigation.
Ooh, 25.
Um, oh, you're here, yeah. There are other books that function the same way, but they are highly guarded.
We would like
These
to,
tomes, and they literally bring out, and you have all 6 of the books stacked in front of you. You could take your time and read through them if you wished.
Yeah, I feel like we should. It'd be
Yeah.
smart.
Absolutely.
And then, if we would want to do any more, then we would have to try to take on the trials to get another. That makes sense.
So what are they? Just punch in tome and if you give us all. That way you don't have
Tomes
to
and
Yeah.
manuals.
Tome and manual, yeah.
So then
You
we
guys
are
want
all
to
in
take the next
agreement
couple days
to
even
take the
read
next
over.
week or two weeks basically, to get through them all. A little less than 2 weeks. In here.
Sweet.
a little over a week. 12 days. Weeks are a 10-day.
Oh, that's right.
So barely over a week.
Yeah, barely. That seems smart. We all doing that?
Yep.
Does that then mean if we've already been under the effects of one of these books, we would still get the effect from these books?
No, you'd start, like, because you've already read a Tome of Leadership Influence. You'd start reading it and be like,
Already know
this is all the
this.
same stuff I already know. Give me an investigation.
It's funny because I'm a better investigator than I am about knowing about religion. Because my character's background. 24.
24. There are also other magical items that can enhance abilities. From simple eggs that can be eaten to powerful artifacts that can enhance one's abilities. From what you're seeing, one of the things they bring up is the spark forged items are capable of enhancing one's abilities.
sense. Special eggs? Does it tell me what kind of eggs?
Soft boiled.
What's eggs, Precious?
Give me an investigation on eggs.
I would like to investigate eggs.
Throw eggs.
18.
Yolk in your face.
Oh, you know what? Because we've been reading, these are technically different days. Are we gaining any effects from resting or no?
I mean, if you want to rest, you can rest. So you kind of regain that energy. You will gain the effect of it, but it'll take more time to get through books and stuff. But if you're not worried about time, you can absolutely take short rests, long rests.
So it doesn't really feel like we're worried necessarily about time.
Yeah.
Would that be okay then to say that I rest?
Yeah.
So
So it's a dirty 20.
There are rare eggs that come from basically it's wild magic items. Primarily it's referred to as a bag of beans. Has a random chance to spawn a nest of eggs. It'll have 4 to 7 eggs. A creature that eats the eggs must be able to stomach them. They're very gross, they're very hard to eat. But if you can manage to stomach the egg, you permanently increase your lowest ability score. On failed save, you take a lot of force damage as the egg magically explodes within inside you. But yes, one could effectively do that.
That sounds like a good time.
Mm-hmm.
how much does it increase your lowest score by?
The most minute amount.
It's like 1.
Yeah, but it permanently increases your lowest ability score by 1. So,
On the notion that it's going to explode inside of you.
if you can protect yourself and make it to where you're capable of eating the eggs without the backlash, seemingly there is no cap to this. These ones aren't ones that you can just, you use it once and it's over. Just magically, permanently, and it not even, I guess it would be magic, but it just permanently increases your lowest ability score by 1.
Well, the magic would affect you and then it's permanently fixed. Just like the tomes.
So can we mark these off?
All 4 books, yeah? Or all 6 books? Absolutely.
How you do that?
Add them all in
You
and
just have
then
to add them all
equip
in
them.
and then
The fuck is
have them
that?
all there.
So I'll show you. Here, I can do it because I'm fast.
So you just be able to
Here.
click on the box.
Oh, you're good. You can leave it where it's
Mhm.
at. I like leaning over
So it
you,
doesn't-
getting close.
If you're already
Just
at
about
20,
kiss
it
you.
doesn't go over.
Yeah, it does. Goes to 22, theoretically.
It's not on mine.
You have them all equipped.
So, did you already add the gainful exercise or no?
Oh, it's because
No.
you have a set score. You have an item that sets your scores to the 20. Because your item was lower than that before, but I can sort it out.
Okay.
You're talking about your
Which-
intellect and wisdom.
Where do
Yeah.
you want these stored in your equipment?
I see a +1 on that dex, though.
So that was gainful exercise. You've already read a quickness of action.
Yes.
So then a bodily health as well.
Right.
I'm assuming you haven't read a bodily health. Okay. Fine luck, Justin. And then the others are tomes. Give me the thingy.
Yeah, so your wisdom
I'm so
score.
used to my iPad.
Your base score is a 16.
Where's the keyboard?
Reading that book brings your base score to an 18.
It's
And then
Look, I'm a young guy, all right?
So they're not going to go
Young
up just
guy.
because your score is actually lower.
Okay.
Also apparently an idiot, so there's that. Hi, I'm part of your future generation.
yeah.
GG. Have you read any of the tomes to increase intelligence, wisdom, or charisma?
No.
So we'll add.
Quiz has exercise, leadership and influence, and quickness of action.
So you have done leadership and influence.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. You just did that now. It's on your character. It's in your equipment.
In your equipment?
Mm-hmm.
Or did you find the quickness of action? We'll move that into your find chest, so it's all consolidated.
So yeah, the way that the your
Worked.
let's go from up at this.
Alright.
That's 5.
So you have
And I did the gainful exercise a long time ago.
so
Did
can
you
click
do the
these
other ones as well?
down.
Yeah, I just added them all in. It took me a second to find them, but I got them all in.
Yeah, have you done the charisma one?
It's there.
I guess I'll check it. Miscellaneous ones plus 2, miscellaneous bonus plus 2, so charisma. Miscellaneous plus 2.
No, well, yeah.
Charisma.
Well, even so, you
So
can
you
go
don't
up to a
have the
22
leadership
with
influence,
it.
so-
So what's that push me?
That put me at a 22.
Yeah. But I mean, how many hit points are there?
Oh, let me see them. Maybe I can put it. Do it real fast and see where it lands me.
Go into the final chest. And should still be over here. And now all of them should be affected.
Yeah,
So
because the book.
that's
This book works differently though, so yeah, no, let me fix this. Okay, yeah. Is there anything else you guys wish to study or go over?
like to research things that would continue to increase my knowledge or intellect somewhere.
Really, you're looking for, at this point, artifacts that will require attunement, the eggs. There are certain trials and certain things that one can do outside that can increase your abilities.
What's your name? All my equipment.
Well, I think say like one of the best things to do is just focus on it, like focus on becoming smarter and study and read as you gain
Hey man, I
experience.
resemble that remark.
You have, I mean, you started with a relatively bad intelligence, and now you have a decent intelligence.
Better than it was. Cool. That's right. I don't know why I did that. When I read all the books, or when I put on all the books, it decided to reattune me to all my equipment.
Oh, I put on your equipment because you're in the magic now,
Okay, cool.
but you're good. Because you would be attuned to it the
Right.
second you walk back in this area. So yeah.
Right.
Because I was also looking at where everything was sitting with that. So if you refresh, it should all be attuned. I just reattuned it all. But yes. That's kind of what you're finding. It's kind of one of those things like your intellect isn't your lowest, but if you got a handful of those eggs, you could effectively increase your intellect.
Mm-hmm. Something we should consider.
All you have to do is get a bunch of bags of beans,
Just
farm them,
yeah, be random with them.
just hope that it works out.
Did we do that with the beans?
We discussed the beans before.
I was going to say farming them, like adding to farm stuff. That's a good
Vithring
thing.
discussed the beans before.
That's what, okay.
Because we got access to wishes, and I was like, well, we could wish for like 2,000 of these eggs. See what happens.
And get rid of the ability to wish.
Mhm. He wasn't gonna do it, but
Right.
Are the beans like an edible version of the deck of many things or something?
Well, they're a wild magic item.
Oh, no.
Like
bag of
it's
beans,
all
you just
random.
pull a bean and you plant it, and then a minute later it sprouts into something random.
Oh.
One of the things that it can be is a nest full of eggs that you eat to increase your weakest abilities.
You can grow treants.
You can grow a treant, which you guys
Fun.
dealt with.
Yeah.
And
In the middle of
stepped
town.
and smashed 3 of the eggs,
Mm-hmm.
and then fucking
Shit, at that
Levi
point, you got,
stole
like,
the other egg. He's like,
lucky
I'm
ones.
taking these. And because of that, I won't kick you out of my town. It's like, no. Yeah, you guys were going after wild magic sorcerer, and he's like, you guys are following me. And he literally just like had a cup with him, and he just like scooped up a little bit of dirt, started planting some beans in it. He was just walking. He was like, okay, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. And he just kind of drops on the ground. He goes, are we doing this? And then a tree sprang up and a nest, and I don't remember what the third one was, but he dropped 3 beans in it.
It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I might not have been here for the tree. I feel like maybe I was, but
Like maybe you were.
That was early
That was
bounty
the
hunting
old-
in the beginning of
That was the
that
old
campaign.
That was the Antonith Altix.
I missed that time.
Sticky.
That might have been right before you guys pulled Altix. No, you should have had Altix by then.
Should have been right after, I think. We went
Yeah,
to
that would've been
Rivers
right after,
break
yeah.
and then we came back.
Because Farron wasn't there yet.
We
Or
didn't want to
wasn't
deal
there
with
anymore.
Chaosis before we had gone further up the road.
Mhm.
Then we got this badass CAFO and we're like, yeah, let's go fuck around with Chaosis.
Let's go!
Mhm.
That's rough.
Yes. But those are the information you have. Is there any other things we want to do? Do we want to attempt one of these trials?
We should attempt one of the trials to access one of the books for the knowledge. Maybe saving the access to the book for last. The ritual to summon this place.
So is the trial going to take us away from here?
I think it's within here.
There are guardians protecting different books, more powerful things.
Yeah. So we'd have to face the Guardians to access the books.
Let's go see what we got.
Flip a coin, any one of the 4 of us.
Curator says, I can bring you wherever you wish to go. I just need to know what it is you want to attempt to know.
Yes, no. How about the book on Elor and his Sparkforged artifact?
It's definitely something we can do. Now, I will warn you, if something happens to you and you are expelled from this place, it might be best to be able to return to this place. Just a thought, instead of saving that for last. I don't know what kind of powers you'll be up against, or the sort of things you'll deal with.
Expelled from this place, like banishing magics?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well then fair enough.
I have a way to get back.
They are spellcasters. They're dragons with levels of wizard. You guys aren't native to this area. So, just a potential thought. You've been pleasant enough.
Fair enough.
I wouldn't mind seeing you again.
Maybe we should do the trial for this place first. Make sure that we can get back here.
I did not think about it that way. I have been swayed to think the same.
I'm in agreement.
Let us go for the book to summon this place. Teach us the ritual.
The ritual book is inside of the book that explains stuff about the trial and such. It was up on the upper levels. I will warn you that it does require a ability to withstand heightened mental activity. Weaker minds struggle. But I can bring you to the start.
How long till we get there?
It's a couple-minute walk.
Well,
Before we do that, have any of you have realized the predicament we've gotten ourselves into? Have you had a chance to reflect on what it is that has happened? We have made it into the Library of Ioun. Individuals and groups, all much more capable and deserving than we have tried and failed at coming here. At least be a little bit thankful.
oh, I am very thankful for this time. I'm sure not many people in existence can have the honor of saying they have read from the pages of these books.
With that in mind, let's go see what we have.
He'll bring you outside those doors and up the stairs. And he opens the grand door and says, walk down 3 aisles. Walk down to the 4th crossroads. Climb up to the 3rd balcony. And you will find a doorway leading where you want to go. I apologize, but I am not capable of venturing beyond this point.
Can't help but notice you didn't mention any left or right turns.
If you walk down, there'll be a wall and one way to go. You don't turn, you
Just follow.
follow it to the crossroads and you'll see the balcony. covered balcony up.
Thank you for bringing us here. And
He opens the door and you see again as these hall like just library just extending off in all different directions. You only went 20 feet up, but it looks like you're in an entire different library.
the Doom.
And this one you can see those that there's the same balconies, but there's actually like doorways that lead into different areas.
Nice. The Doom will emboldening bond all 6 of us before we part ways.
Thank you.
We were at peace here. Thank you. And then, because we don't learn from our mistakes, so why stop now?
What are you talking about? Why learn anything now?
Go ahead and cast anything and try and they just expel it off us anyway.
I will cast Enhance Ability at I think it would be 4th level. Yep, to get 4 people from me, and I will enhance all of our. I'll give us all Fox's Cunning.
Fox's Cunning.
Advantage on intelligence checks. And you all have the D4 from Emboldening Bond.
Okay. Anybody want to do anything else before you enter this library?
Negative.
Quiz casts his shadow.
Summon Shadow Spawn?
No.
Shadow of Moil?
Yeah.
Okay. You just kind of wreathed in shadows.
I was fixing my spells.
Just let me know who wants to walk into the library first.
Oh, I do.
I do.
Green
Give me
right there.
Give me an intelligence saving throw.
Intelligence. Boop, boop, boop. Is a saving throw considered a check?
No.
That's how I figured. That's worth a shot. And we'll do. It's a 24.
You take 12 points of psychic damage. You cannot reduce this damage by any means.
Do I
But-
still at least enter?
Yeah, you enter in, but when you enter in, your mind is just flooded with thought and psychic energy and knowledge that just burns its way into you.
Copy that.
Seems overwhelming.
Who goes?
Give me an intelligence saving throw. You have a plus D6 and 1D4 from him. Not D6, sorry, plus 6.
Plus
No, I said
and
I said D6. I meant plus
Plus
6.
six.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Said that wrong.
37.
37.
Holy fuck balls.
You're fine. Who's walking in next?
Love how I lowballed mine.
I love my little ball my D4. That gave me dirty 20 though.
Nice.
16.
16.
Plus the 6 from me.